What's up? We got another story time video for you today. This one is just as crazy and ridiculous as the other one, but you might notice that this is not my usual, one-on-one type of setup. Usually I'm over there, but today I have a special guest.
Ka-chow!
Yeah, that works. This is a story about how we almost died in a forest fire. Alright, let's go.
So, Brown County's the place?
Yeah, we were in Brown County.
At a very, very haunted house.
It was more like a trailer. We were in a trailer.
Trailer?
Yeah.
It was in the woods, I just know that.
It was a trailer in the woods.
And
deep
it
in the woods.
had no heat.
No heat.
So it was like extra scary.
In the trailer, in the woods, all we had was like DVR. No video games or anything. Nothing to do besides, you could chop wood, you could stoke the fire, you could watch DVR movies, and I had a forge at that time. You could forge weapons and whatnot, and then you could go camping. And so that day we decided to go camping. And my style of camping is a lot different than anybody else's, where you don't go with like a tent and prepared supplies. You go with like a very limited supplies of fishing line, not a fishing pole, just the line. Collect edible flowers. I had this heatable cooking pot thing, and we'd put them in there and boil them and make tea out of wildflowers and whatnot.
So we were roughing it. We were not going in with...
No,
we wanted to make
and
what we were doing.
Yeah, we made shelters as well. And so we had a whole outpost pretty much built.
And I had only been camping once, and it was in a tent. It was sleeping bag. I didn't prepare it. Somebody else prepared it. There was hot dogs and stuff and food. So I was really cushioned on my first camping experience.
From what I remember, we woke up.
It was very cold that night, by the way.
Yeah, it was super cold. And we woke up at 6 or 7 a.m. and we headed back in. Before we headed back in, we had a fireplace, and we put out the fire and put out the embers, put rocks on it, and just, made it safe. And we took down our shelters, and we headed back into the house. And it'd been an hour or so, and then we started forging, and me and Rio were taking turns on the forge. And then we went back in the house to get a drink, and my mom's husband at the time comes sprinting into the house, and he just he was just yelling. He was like, "You guys put your fire out?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think so."
I was really tired at this point, so I was just I didn't get good sleep out there, so I was just "Oh, what are you doing?" And
yeah,
it was kind of when someone else's parents yells at them, and you're just sitting there.
And then he was like, "Well, the whole forest is on fire." So we go outside.
And your house is surrounded by forest.
Yeah.
It's kind of his house and just forest.
Yeah. And so we went outside, and it was just all black. It was just black smoke everywhere.
It looked war just got done.
Yeah, and I'm immediately, I was having just a panic attack. I don't even remember what happened immediately after that, but it was insane. And then my mom called the fire department, and they came in, before they came in, Aaron was like, "We have to go make sure that your, fire was out before they get here and be like, yeah, it was you guys who started the fire." So we get shovels, and we're beating down the fire in a pathway to get to where our campsite was, which is deep in the woods. So
it was like an obstacle course. Like there was smoke, there was like fire, like
yeah, it was like a war zone.
Yeah.
It was as soon as you left the house, it was like entering a war zone.
Yeah.
And so by the time that we had gotten out there, everything was ashes or on fire and smoking. And so we finally get back to where the campsite was, and it's just all ashes. So there's no way to like be like, yeah, it was or wasn't you guys. And so then we get back, and by the time we get back, the fire department's all there, and they're like, yeah, we have, the fire's too big to put out. We're just gonna start a secondary fire to put this one out.
Like on the other side, they were gonna meet fire with literal fire and like just yeah.
I don't know what the logic is there, but that's what happened.
And there was like I feel like there was like 6 fire departments there.
Yeah,
that's no joke.
There was a ton of fire.
Anywhere around, they were just like, we're coming, because it was huge.
Yeah, they started a secondary fire, and that fire was so hot that it was like melting the plastic on the side of the trailer.
It was like the door in your house was right here. Mm-hmm. There was not much.
No, there was like like a driveway. There was a little ravine, and then a hill, and the hill was where they were setting the other fire.
And like the house, there was smoke, like it was hot, like you could feel the fire easily.
Yeah.
And it was like the smoke was all down there. It was crazy.
And so then they started a secondary fire, and then we waited there forever, and I was expecting them to just take us to jail. I was like, we did it. I was like, it was us. We started a fire. It was us. And so then I was just like, we're gonna go to jail. They're gonna arrest us. This is the end of my life. And then they were like, oh yeah, your neighbor was burning leaves, and then the wind got away from him and lit the other side of the hill on fire. So then we were like, oh, okay.
We're in the clear.
Yeah, but then Rio and my mom's husband at the time will swear to this day that we started the fire. But I know there's no way, because I had gone out there so many times.
I mean,
like,
everybody makes mistakes.
There's no way. There is no way.
I was with you, so I could have thrown up your game.
No. Because I went out there with, like, Tyler. I'm pretty sure I took Brandon out there. Like,
they're both. Those are smart guys. I bet they double-checked the fire, which is something I didn't do. It was a very dry day.
I don't know.
And I remember us sleeping at some point. I don't remember, like... I thought we came in and then slept and then forged. So I remember waking up to all this. Maybe since he has insomnia, he wasn't asleep, but I remember I was sleeping.
Like, that would have been such a coincidence if we both had started fires at the same time.
That's what I was thinking. I felt like it was just I was taking it, like, I was like, okay, like, let's blame it on the neighbors. But deep down, I feel like we did it. I got that bad boy, like, deep down in me.
No, there's no way.
And it's cooler to tell the story like, hey, we burned down the woods this one time. Instead of like, hey,
no, it's
we were framed
cool.
for burning down
it's
the woods.
It's not cool.
It was your woods. Well.
Yeah, it was my woods until it reached the other properties. Yeah, yeah.
You know how, like, when the man on the moon went on the moon and he put the flag down? After we were done camping there, we were like, no one else is gonna. Boom.
Gasoline and everything.
Yeah.
Just lit it.
We're the only ones. This is our territory.
So, yeah. Rio thinks we burned it down, but we didn't. Those are our neighbors. Yeah, that was the time that we almost died in a fire.
One of the many times that we almost died.
Yeah, almost died in general, but that was the one time we almost died in a forest fire.
The universe, when we're together, the universe is just like, hey, let's make something crazy happen. Let's mess with them.
Let's mess with these guys. These guys in particular. I mean, what other stories what other ones do we have?
Coming soon. But there's a bunch. There's the playground thing.
But yeah, the playground one
that was crazy.
hilarious.
Just crazy. Remember the Joey thing?
Oh.
We may not make a video on that one.
No way.
No, just a lot of stuff. The time we almost got mugged when we walked to the gas station. Just that whole Florida trip in general, that one story happened, that was like just crazy. The whole thing.
The whole time was just insane. I don't think I talked about the time like while we were at the resort that we got sucked under by the riptide.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. That was terrifying.
Yeah.
Or the time that we went tubing.
And we body slammed and almost died. I passed out underwater.
That was so.
If I didn't have a life jacket on,
you would have died.
I would have died.
Oh man.
But would do again.
Yeah. So we got a lot of crazy stories. Obviously, from like if you guys want to hear like any of the stuff that we mentioned, any of those like little tidbits of stories, because we got a bunch, just let us know, because they're all pretty hilarious, pretty ridiculous, and yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. So bye.
I'm the trash man. I'm the trash man.